What if I told you that the biggest obstacle in your life is not your situation, not your skills, but the voice inside your own mind? This is the story of a man who almost lived an ordinary life, not because he had no potential, but because he believed he had none. His name was Ethan. Ethan was not a failure. In fact, from the outside, he looked just like everyone else. He had a stable job, a small apartment, and a routine that never changed. But inside, he was trapped. Every day, a quiet voice followed him. You're not good enough. You're not talented. Don't even try. And slowly, without realizing it, Ethan started to believe it. Ethan grew up in a quiet town. He was a kind child, always curious, always dreaming, but he was never the best at anything. In school, there was always someone smarter, someone faster, someone better. Teachers didn't mean to hurt him, but their words stayed. You need to improve. You're falling behind. You should be more like others. At first, Ethan tried harder, but the more he compared himself, the more he felt small. And one day, he made a silent decision. I guess I'm just not special. That belief followed him into adulthood. When Ethan was young, he loved writing. He would fill notebooks with stories about adventure, courage, and hope. But one day, he showed his writing to someone he trusted. The response was simple. It's not that good. Those 4 words were enough. Ethan didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just stopped writing. Because sometimes, it only takes one moment to silence a dream. Years passed. Ethan chose a safe life. A predictable life. He worked in an office, doing tasks that didn't excite him. Every day felt the same. Wake up. Work. Go home. Sleep. No passion. No purpose. Only comfort and quiet regret. At night, he would sometimes think about writing again. He would imagine what his life could have been, but then the voice would return. It's too late. You're not good enough. And just like that, the dream disappeared again. One rainy evening, everything changed. Ethan missed his bus and took shelter in a small bookstore. It was old, quiet, and almost empty. As he walked between the shelves, something caught his attention. A small sign read, "Open Writing Night. Share your story." Ethan smiled to himself. Not from me, he whispered. But something inside him didn't agree. He sat in the back, just to watch. One by one, people stood up and shared their stories. Some were good, some were not perfect, but all of them had something Ethan didn't have anymore. Courage. Then something unexpected happened. The host looked at him and said, "Would you like to share something?" Ethan froze. "No, I'm not a writer," he said quickly. The host smiled gently. "Or maybe you stopped believing." "You are." That sentence hit him deeply. For the first time in years, Ethan didn't hear doubt. He heard truth. He remembered the boy who loved writing, the boy who didn't care if he was the best, the boy who just created. Slowly, Ethan stood up. His heart was racing. His hands were shaking. That voice came back louder than ever. "You'll embarrass yourself. You'll fail. But this time..." Ethan did something different. He didn't run away. He spoke. At first, his voice was weak. The words were simple. The story was not perfect, but it was real. And as he continued, something changed. The room became quiet. People listened. Not because he was perfect, but because he was honest. When he finished, there was a moment of silence, then applause. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years. Not pride. Not success, but belief. That night changed everything. Ethan went home and looked at himself in the mirror. For the first time, he didn't see someone not good enough. He saw someone who had been holding himself back. Success is built in small steps, and for years, Ethan had taken small steps backward by doubting himself every day. The next morning, he made a decision. He would write again. Not for approval, not for perfection, but for himself. At first, it was difficult. Some days, the words didn't come. Some days, the doubt returned stronger than ever. But Ethan kept going because he understood something important. Sometimes the greatest strength is patience. Weeks turned into months. His writing improved. He started sharing his work online. At first, nobody noticed. Then one person read it. Then one day, someone sent him a message. Your story helped me keep going. Ethan stared at the screen, unable to move. For years, he believed he had nothing to offer. But now, his words were helping someone else. That was the moment everything became clear. The moment you stop chasing others, you start finding yourself. Ethan was never not enough. He was just listening to the wrong voice. Years later, Ethan became a published writer. But the real victory was not success. It was freedom. Freedom from self-doubt. Freedom from the voice that once controlled him. So now, let me ask you something. How many times have you stopped yourself before you even started? How many dreams have you buried because you thought you weren't good enough? What if the only thing standing between you and your future is a belief that isn't even true? Listen carefully. You're not your past. You're not your fears. You're not the negative words people once told you. You are what you choose to believe today. And maybe today is the day you stop saying, I'm not good enough, and start saying, I will try, because everything changes the moment you stop denying yourself. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Tell us in the comments, what is one thing you will stop doubting today? Remember this, your mind can be your biggest enemy or your greatest ally. The choice is yours.